You! Welcome back. I'm really excited for today's recipe not because it's one I've made before, but because it's cookies. And cookies are my wheelhouse. I love making cookies. This is one of my, not this, but cookies are one of my specialties, especially during the Christmas season. But when my kids ask me to make something, it's always cookies. My son is constantly asking me to make chocolate chip cookies or like M&M cookie bars. Those are his favorite. But today we are making butterscotch cookies from Mildred. And Mildred was my mom's grandfather's sister. So it was her great aunt. And just in relation, because I've talked about names in these videos, it's Elliot's sister-in-law. So my granddad, my mom's dad's aunt. I think that's how we got connected. But here is the recipe. Now this is in my grandmother, or my mom's grandmother's handwriting, I'm pretty sure. So she lists all the ingredients on the front, and then on the back are your directions. The ingredients are not in order of your directions. So definitely make sure, as I've said, gotta read the directions first. So we are going to start out creaming a cup of Crisco, or 192 grams. I've already measured it out in our mixing bowl. I love measuring Crisco, especially by measurement, because I don't have to dirty several dishes. It's just the spoon and I put it right into the mixing bowl. So 192 grams. And then we're gonna do 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, which is 150 grams, and 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. So those are in here, and we are gonna cream these. And I thought I was doing so good at not forgetting, and I forgot a paddle. So just a minute. Okay, we're back. We are going to cream the Crisco and the sugars. Because, I think that moved my camera. Because brown sugar has moisture in it, I feel like it doesn't take as long to cream. Okay, next we are going to add the beaten eggs. So it's 2 eggs, and I already measured them in here and beat them just a little bit with a little fork. So we're gonna add these in. I like to stop in between adding and make sure we scrape down the bowl so we're getting everything mixed correctly. Sorry, my camera is all over the place right now. Okay. Next, I think the mixer is shaking the counter, which is messing with my setup here. Sorry, you're a little all over the place. All right, this is a weird one for me. A tablespoon of hot water. We're supposed to add that in next. It's weird, but here we are, tablespoon. Alrighty, next we're going to add the flour mixed with the soda, which is here. It is 1.5 cups of flour, so 180 grams of flour, and a teaspoon of baking soda. And a lot of these older recipes, they just say soda, but it's baking soda. So we're gonna add love making cookies because I feel like they're really hard to mess up. Although I have messed them up. I do something called the 12 Cookies of Christmas, and I bake a different cookie every day for 12 days, the first 12 days of December, which I would think I was a little bit crazy when I started that tradition, but my coffee cup out of the way here. Anyway, so I had a recipe that was not good this year. So maybe we'll incorporate this one. We'll see. All right, that flour is mixed in. I've scraped the sides down again. And the next step is to add nuts, oatmeal, vanilla, and butterscotch chips. I am not gonna put nuts in this because we have a nut allergy. And he may wanna try these. Sometimes if I don't think he will want to eat what I'm making, then I will add the nuts, but I'm not going to add them to this. Plus my husband isn't a big fan of nuts in baked goods, which is kind of, I guess he doesn't like the texture. Okay, so we're doing 2 cups of oats, and I've never weighed out oats, but it is, 1 cup is 100 grams. So put those in there. And then no nuts, but if you want to add nuts, it's a cup of nuts and a package of butterscotch chips, which these always smell so good. Now I'm going to turn on the mixer and start that mixing while I add the vanilla in. And today I'm using a vanilla paste. That looks delicious. I have a feeling these are gonna be nice and chewy and a little gooey and delish. I do a little bit wonder how butter would do in this recipe. I usually try to make cookies with butter, but I know sometimes it can be a little finicky with how they, y'all, this camera. I'll be back. Okay, it was loose, so I don't know. That was funny and weird. All right, I'm gonna make sure sometimes the bottom of this bowl doesn't get everything mixed in, so I'm gonna do a good scrape down here and make sure we got everything mixed in. Have you ever done it where you get to the bottom of the mixing bowl and it's just a little gooey down there and you're like, oh gosh. Okay, let me show you what this looks like. Looks like basic cookie dough. All right, now this says to drop by teaspoon on cookie sheet and bake, but I don't think it means this. I think it means like a teaspoon that you would eat cereal with. So I'm gonna grab one of those. We're back. I already have parchment and I've already preheated my oven to 375. So the first baking sheet, I'm going to do this. And then the second one, I'm gonna get my cookie scoop and we're gonna try the cookie scoop and see how those do. So. A cookie recipe you've never done before. It's always like, okay, what are these gonna look like when they come out? We'll see. I think my cookie scoop is gonna be a good measuring tool here. My assumption is they did not have cookie scoops when this recipe was written down. I don't know how much these are gonna spread. So I'm gonna try to get a dozen on the sheet here. I think I've only ever made butterscotch cookies one other time. And I'm not sure that we didn't like them. I don't know why they didn't get left in the rotation, but these were not the butterscotch cookies I made. Because like I've said, I have a lot of recipes in these boxes that I've never made. It's like, are they good? Are they not? If they're not, let's remove them out of the box that we're using all the time. Okay, let's stick these in the oven. All right, I'm sticking these in a 375 oven. It says 10 to 12 minutes, but I'm gonna set my timer for 8 minutes and check them then. Because, not sure about you, but I would much rather have a chewy cookie than a crunchy cookie. Okay, I'm gonna do another sheet here with this. I don't even know what size it is. I'm gonna say maybe 1.5 tablespoon cookie scoop. And I don't think these are any bigger than what I just put in there. In fact, yeah. My guess is these aren't supposed to be like tiny cookies. I know some cookies are supposed to be tiny. Like I make ginger snaps at Christmas time and I make those pretty tiny. Just because, you know, you do like those to be a little crunchy. If you've made this recipe or one like this with butter, let me know. And let me know how much butter you use. Do you do equal measurement to Crisco? So would it be a cup, 2 sticks of butter? And do you melt it? Do you put it in cold? Do you soften it? Do you have to refrigerate the dough? Like, I need the deets on it. All right, I'm gonna stick these in the other oven, so it's up to you, and we'll pull these out in a minute. Okay, these were the cookie scoop ones. The teaspoon ones were a disaster, and I did not bake them long enough, and so they just aren't very good. These all turned out very consistent in size and baking. So they have nice ripples, and they look yummy. So let's taste one. It's good. It's chewy. Has a nice crunch on the edges, which is kind of buttery, but I know there's not butter in here. That butterscotch is really sweet. So you're gonna have to like butterscotch to enjoy these. I think these would also be really good with chocolate chips. So, Mildred's Butterscotch Cookies. If you're hankering, make these. I'll leave the recipe in the description of this video. Make sure you comment. Let me know if you've made something like these or any other recipe that we've done on here. Let me know how it went. Did you change anything? Did you do anything different? Which I guess that's the same question. Have you ever made a recipe like this before with actual butter and not Crisco? Let me know. I love learning, and I know that y'all have information that I don't. So let me know. Also, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel so that you are alerted each week when a new video drops. We'll see you next time on Tasha's Heirloom Table.